So your teeth have done some grinding and mashing. Your salivary glands have added some enzymes and some liquids. And then your tongue has pushed it all around until it's in a little bit of a ball that is called a bolus. And then that's what you would swallow. Does anybody know what this part of the throat is called?
Oh.
Close. You're close. This is the trachea. This is the esophagus. But what do we call this area where the two split? It's the pharynx. Okay, we call that the pharynx. And then in the pharynx, we have this little flap of skin. I kind of covered it up. We have this little flap of skin that actually flops down and covers your trachea when you swallow. Does anybody remember what that's called? The epiglottis. That's right. Yep, that's why they say that. Okay, so in your notes, would you add the word pharynx and epiglottis? The pharynx is where the trachea and esophagus split.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're not swallowing when you have food in your mouth. It only covers it when you swallow. If you have food or liquid in your mouth and you suck in air, you'll suck that substance right into your windpipe, and then you choke.
So if you
No. It happens to the best of us. We'll get these off here so we can watch the rest of this now.
It goes all the way down to the wrong
Do you have tea time?
Yeah, if something lodged in there and you can't get it out, you'll die. People have choked on something as small as a pen cap.
I've eaten dimes before. Probably swallow one of those right now. I wouldn't have
I did that last year. Mr. Hawkins had a baby at home. You're welcome.
It was a pen cap. He choked on it because JP was in it.
Oh, yeah. She's doing it. It should be okay then.
A girl died from that when I was in high school. Girl from El Trappist died choking on a pen cap.
Recorded too.
The man swallows. Muscles in your throat force the food downward. A flap of tissue automatically closes off the trachea or windpipe. This is a tube that leads to the lungs. It is required to get air into the lungs during respiration, but water or food is not wanted down this tube. After swallowing, the epiglottis goes back to its normal position, and the trachea is once again open.
Okay. All right. So we talked about the mouth and the stomach. Where does the food go after it leaves the stomach?
Small intestine.
Small intestine.
Okay, just what are you doing?
Small intestine.
Looking for something. What are you looking for?
All right, so once the food moves into the small intestine,
I'm not moving back though.
okay, two major things happen in the small intestine. One, we have bile that comes from the gallbladder to go into the small intestine. That's why the small intestine is staying green. And we also have enzymes that come into the small intestine. And the enzymes and the bile help to take the food molecules, get them very, very small so that they then can be absorbed by the small intestine.
Okay, so now we're in the small intestine. In the very beginning of the small intestine, it's called the duodenum. And in that duodenum, you have ducts from the gallbladder and liver. And those ducts deliver a substance called bile and other enzymes which further break down food. Okay? You may put stuff around. Okay. So the food gets even further broken down. So that the particles are so small, they can move back and forth across the cell membrane of your small intestine. Now, the food particles would actually be small enough to be absorbed into the bloodstream.
As you can see, there's a million wrinkles on this small intestine. And the wrinkles have wrinkles have wrinkles. And that tremendously increases the area for the foods to be absorbed. As a matter of fact, so much, it's about 2,000 square feet at the size of a baseball diamond.
Okay. We talked about that yesterday, how the surface area of your small intestine is actually the size of a baseball diamond. Okay, after the small intestine, where did it go? What happened? Okay, now we're going to be looking at the large intestine.
Now, if most of the food and the nutrients are absorbed from the small intestine, what's left in the large intestine? It stores whatever was not absorbed from the small bowel until we get it out as waste. It absorbs water so that we don't lose too much water. It has another very important function, which is to make vitamin K. And it makes vitamin K from the normal bacteria.
Never heard of vitamin K before.
And that vitamin K is very important to make normal blood clotting that you have.
Okay, so what did it just say about the large intestine that's not already in your notes? That's in your notes. It reabsorbs water into your system. What else does your large
vitamin
intestine do? Okay, it produces vitamin K.
What exactly does vitamin K do?
Okay, it does that too. What does vitamin K do? Anybody know? Anybody catch it? Vitamin K is essential for normal blood clotting.
Is there like a vitamin for all the alphabet?
I can't hear you there.
She wants to know there's a vitamin for every alphabet letter.
No.
Vitamin Q is my favorite.
About the vitamin K is that your large intestine doesn't produce it. What produces it?
Vitamin D.
No. You have something living inside of you. You have natural populations of bacteria living in your large intestine. They produce the vitamin K. You feed them, they produce vitamin K for you, and then you use it for normal blood clotting. So it's actually produced by bacteria in the gut that normally live there. It's a nice little symbiotic relationship.